Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Back, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, hopefully, things are really interesting this time of year, right? It's the end of September, which is, by the way, the best month of the year, in my opinion, other than my daughter's birthday. Other than that, everyone's curious about the Columbia. We'll get over that. Right? The Columbia's been a thing for a long time this year. It's closed currently, fine. It'll open up October 1. You'll have opportunity out there. But the question is there going to be Chinook involved? Well, if you still really want to chase fall Chinook, you got to head west. Just head towards the coast. The tributaries are certainly producing. But what's interesting, it being the last part or the last week of September, is that the reports aren't coming from where you would typically hear them. The North Coast area. There's some fish getting caught, but it seems like further south, more central-ish, the fishing has been better. Now, that doesn't mean that things aren't going to change or improve in the North Coast region as far as different tributaries, if we get water, or in the bays themselves. So if you're typically making your trips over there that first or second week of October, which is a perfect time to head that way, things should still produce. It's a really good year for salmon overall, let alone silvers, Chinook in those areas. But still, same thing yesterday, sleds, for crying out loud. I mean, I've fished it a few times. I know a little bit about the Silettes. I've never really focused on it, but if it's a place that if you've never been before, it's worth looking into. First thing I would Google is Coyote Rock. That's what I did a handful of years ago, and from there, things opened up quite a bit. But here locally, with this rain that's coming, if you want to start targeting silvers in the tributaries that have them, right, and there's a number of them, with this rain that we've got coming, we'll find out more from Peyton here in just a little bit. That's going to change things a lot. These fish that are kind of stalled out, haven't really pushed their way upriver yet, I would assume that you'll also see a big number change going over Bonneville. This is going to be the time to go after them, and there's going to be so many ways that you can do it. Tidewater areas, power boats, will obviously be in play, or drift boats, depending on the levels of the rivers themselves. Don't expect a big bounce. We'll get to that in a second. But overall, once they start smelling that changed, they will move. Those fish they will start to work their way up into the tributaries. And for a window there, they're going to be snappy. Once things settle down, if the rain stops, the rivers get to drop a little bit. They might lockjaw up a little bit faster. But in the end, this upcoming week, or this week, I should say, could be very interesting. But at the very least, let's take a look at fish counts. They haven't changed at all over the falls. This is super frustrating. I mean, really. We say it all the time, but I mean, come on, just update, will you? Who knows what's really over the falls? It's been like 8 days there in a row that they've missed other than one. There could be 12,000, but we don't know it. We just don't know. Kind of frustrating. Taking a look at Bonneville, this one's interesting. Not seeing a number there. That's interesting. But you can see the numbers for Chinook, right around 4,000 yesterday, 6,000 the day before, 4 and 3. So not great numbers, but based on what's gone over for fall Chinook adults at 407,000, it's a bit frustrating that we can't continue to fish for them below Bonneville, above Bonneville, or wherever. Come October 1. You'll be able to go after silvers, but it is interesting to say the least. River levels, though, like I mentioned yesterday, you're just not going to see a big bounce in these rivers because there's not yes, a couple inches of rain that might be forecasted is just going to get absorbed. It's not necessarily going to make it into the tributaries. Willamette is what it is. Tides aren't horrible. Again, Columbia is not an issue until after October 1 or on October 1st. Tides are probably going to be very similar as we go into October, as it says. Very, very tall with some flat spots there. It'll be interesting to see what the grass does. If things cool down, that might improve that particular issue. But taking a look at some of the smaller rivers, tributaries, my home river, no bounce at all. It's enough of a bounce where I wouldn't be worried about dragging my boat a little bit, my drift boat, at that level, which could be a thing. But at the very least, also along the coast, same thing, all those North Coast rivers and heading south. But if you see the Silettes there, that's, even though it's just very small, not a whole lot to it, the fish really like that. They really like that. And it shouldn't blow out any systems. You might get a little bit of coloration, but silvers in particular, depending on what system you're on, they love that. You know, if it's super clear, that's not necessarily an advantage in those situations. Sometimes they like that off color. For you to the east, you know what I'm talking about. So not a huge bounce, but it should be just very positive in the end as things go through this upcoming week. Now, do the best you can to bug my buddy Jason Hambley over there at Procure. It's procure.com, or excuse me, Jason at procure.com. Have a chance to win that prize pack later on, probably November, December-ish. That'll change more over towards a steelhead variety of a prize pack. That doesn't mean wait. That just means that things will change because we will, I think the next big thing to talk about other than salmon is going to be winter steelhead. Depending on conditions, I might spend a little bit more time on this year, even during duck season, which is kind of hard to say, but it could happen. Having the drift boat in the arsenal changes things a little bit in December if we get water. All right, let's check in with Peyton Major and find out if there's any changes since yesterday. Peyton, once again, I mean, we just love these conditions. Some of the folks on our Facebook page were referring to what your report was yesterday with nothing but glee. So hopefully it's all holding out.
Yes, very mixed emotions on my end, Owen, but that's okay. I love people who love the rain because we need it, and flip is happening this week. It's going to come in multiple rounds. Number one is coming tomorrow, and so this is a big stretch of an atmospheric river heading down to Hawaii, and that's kind of the source of our first round of moisture, and showers are beginning as soon as tomorrow morning. Now, the thing that is new this morning is the arrival time has shifted a little bit for this first round and even the second round. So I will tell you, Monday morning, if you are along the I-5 corridor in the metro, you may not see any showers until about 11 a.m. And that's because this thing has slowed down a little bit. By the way, today, just some increasing clouds and maybe a little sprinkle along the coastline, but we're not going to see anything too major. And so that's why highs today will be in the 70s. But as we get into tomorrow, we're going to see highs drop into the 60s as that front crosses over, brings us the cooler air. This is now 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. See how the coast is finally under some showers. Yesterday, that timing was about 10 p.m. tonight. So it has shifted about 5 hours, and that's why you can see some showers finally arriving around 11 in the Portland metro. Scattered coverage through the evening, maybe dry as we head into Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is our next system. These things are close together, especially the second system. It has sped up. So unlike Monday, Tuesday's timing is faster now, waking up to some showers most likely Tuesday morning and then becoming scattered as that second system passes through. If you are along the coast, I want you to pay attention to Tuesday. We're expecting some pretty strong wind gusts, maybe up to about 40 or 45 miles per hour, and that could cause some power outages or some downed trees. We are going to stay kind of unsettled through about Friday. Scattered showers, and whatever is really left over will linger into Thursday, Friday. Friday may end up being mainly dry, and those lows will stay in the 50s. Our next big change, though, and is next weekend, likely dry and back into the 70s. So this is about a 4 or 5 day kind of wet stretch, and hopefully we'll pick up over an inch.
Welcome to fall in 2025. Thank you. I love the fact that that's going to happen, but I have a question selfishly for myself. As a meteorologist, do you pay a lot of attention to the long-term forecast? Because a lot of us in the outdoor world, we like to be optimistic about what some of those long-term forecasts are. Is it worth paying attention to, or is it really just too far away to really believe it?
Right. I think if someone gives you a specific forecast, like, hey, on October 20th, it's going to rain. We don't know that exact information, but what we can know is trends. So we can know it may be below average, it may be above average, it could be a little wetter at that time, it could be mainly dry. And so that's kind of all we know, honestly, until about 5 days before. So that's why I'm a little vague even about Thursday, Friday, because we don't really know what's going to happen, but we know there may be a few more lingering showers. So I always say on social media, kind of take everything you see with a grain of salt, because some people say snow is coming next week. You know, they like to kind of, I guess, glamorize it. So make sure you're paying attention to local forecasts.
That's a very good point. And one of these days, I'm going to ask you the question about the Farmer's Almanac, but that's another day that I'll ask that question.
I have graphics ready, Owen, so just let me know.
Very good. Peyton, thank you as always. Have a great week.
You too.
Okay, so we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to have our Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. Now, first things first, I'm going to tell you that if you haven't seen this tech tip here on GPS before, you're going to go, that is one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard. I'm just going to get that out of the way. But in the end, it's actually a tech tip that's worked very well for myself in the right situation, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'll show you the tech tip. why I think it works, and what the theory is behind the whole thing. We'll have that when we come back from this break.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.